What's up, guys? It's all about Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, in this video I will be reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, most of you may know this film came out back in 2011. Well, I never had my YouTube channel on back in 2011. I joined YouTube back in early 2012, so I never got a chance to review the movies that came out in 2011. We had a lot of good ones, and this was easily my second favorite film of 2011. And this is not the only reason why I decided. There is one big reason why I decided to do this movie review. It's because of one of my subscribers. I'm going to give a shout out in this video. He's been faithfully commenting on my videos, liking my videos, following all my videos. Here's your shout out, Robot7752. Thank you very much. This guy has been faithfully following my videos. I am very grateful for it. And you actually asked me, have you ever done a review for this movie, Deathly Hallows Part 2? And I said, no, I haven't. So you know what? I said, I'm going to do this review for you, dedicated to you. Thank you very much for following my videos. So guys, here's my review of Deathly Hallows Part 2. I don't know about you guys, but this was easily, like I said, easily the best movie, the second best movie of 2011. The best movie of the Harry Potter franchise, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, and the Harry Potter franchise, easily one of the best film franchises ever made in movie history. Yes. You know what? It's true. Harry Potter, the franchise, one of the best franchises ever made. So guys, I want to get right into this review. There's a lot of things I want to talk about with this movie because it was just so perfect, so amazing. Just giving you a warning to anyone who hasn't seen the movie, I don't know where you've been. I will most likely include some spoilers in this video just to give you a little warning. But where have you been? How have you not seen this movie yet? Unless you don't like Harry Potter at all. I mean, you should have seen this movie by now. So guys, I'm going to get right into my review and quickly sum up the story as best as I can. You know what? Here it is. Harry Potter, our main protagonist throughout the whole film franchise, throughout all of J.K. Rowling's books, will come and finally face off and finally fight Lord Voldemort, one of the most evil, most badass villains in movie history / in books that I have read. There you have it. It's Harry Potter versus Lord Voldemort in the final battle in the final movie of the Harry Potter franchise. Now, to go in a little bit more detail about the story for this movie, Deathly Hallows Part 2 picks up right where Part 1 left off. Duppy has been killed by Bellatrix Lestrange. Harry, Ron, and Hermione have fled Malfoy Manor. They arrived at Shell Cottage, and Voldemort stole the Elder Wand from Dumbledore's grave. Now is the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 2. Harry, Ron, and Hermione go to Gringotts Bank to continue their quest to find all the Horcruxes and destroy them all so Harry can finally, once and for all, defeat Lord Voldemort. Because once they destroy all the Horcruxes, Voldemort can be defeated. So they're on their quest, and ever since that scene in the movie when they get onto the dragon after they get the Horcrux, and they fly out of Gringotts, and the wizard security guards are shooting spells at them, and the dragon breaks out of the building in Gringotts, and he's crawling on top of the buildings in Diagon Alley, and he flies out of there. I was immediately attached to the movie ever since that scene came on. I was like, you know what? This is easily going to be one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, and I was right. I was so attached to the movie in that scene. I was amazed. I was breathtaken, you know, by what epicness I was seeing on screen. And then when Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they finally get to Hogwarts, and the students of Hogwarts, along with the faculty, are going to get together, and they are going to fight Voldemort and his massive army. They are on their way to Hogwarts. Meanwhile, Harry is still racing throughout the school trying to find the remaining Horcruxes so he can defeat Lord Voldemort, and he runs into a few obstacles along the way. You know what, guys? I don't even need to talk anymore about this, the story of this movie. That's pretty much it. I want to talk about so many other things. I mean, the story was just brilliant, you know, from the book, in the movie, in Part 1 and 2, it was just brilliant, you know. I couldn't have pictured seeing this movie any other way. You know, it was beautiful. It was a perfect end to the franchise, let's just put it that way. And finally, we all know that Harry will, in the end of the movie, finally face off against Lord Voldemort, and that's exactly what happens for the story of this movie. And guys, really, I want to talk about the story. I will get into the story and the ending of this movie and later in this review. Next thing I briefly want to talk about, I don't want to take too much time talking about this, guys, are some of the cast in this movie. Obviously, you have Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson are three main characters, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Now, ever since when I first saw them in the first Harry Potter in the Sorcerer's Stone back in 2001, I have loved this cast. You could not have got three better actors to play these roles, and I don't think there's anyone in this universe that can play a better Harry Potter than Daniel Radcliffe had. I'm so glad that he stuck with the franchise throughout all 8 films. Can you imagine if they would have got someone else to play Harry, like somewhere during the franchise? I mean, that would have just been unbelievable, you know. But anyway, of course, great acting to them. I mean, there's nothing wrong. They were perfect throughout all the other 7 films. Why am I even going to bother wasting my time talking about them in this movie? Of course, they were perfect. They played their roles perfectly like they had in the last 7 movies. You have other perfect actors in this movie. In this movie, I should say. Robbie Coltrane, Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort, Helena Bonham Carter as Bellatrix, Gary Oldman. I'm just naming random actors that were in this movie off the top of my head. I mean, perfect acting, guys. I'm not even going to go into that. Of course, Ralph Fiennes, who played Voldemort, just a magnificent role right there. Now, here's something I really want to take a long time talking about, is the characters. Seeing these characters on the big screen, for what you know is the 8th and final film in the franchise. It's just really unbelievable to realize that this is the end of the Harry Potter franchise. And something I really enjoyed what they included in this movie, what the director included, all the characters that Harry, Ron, and Hermione had grown up with throughout the whole franchise, namely Cho Chang, Seamus Finnegan, Dean Thomas, all these characters, all their fellow classmates, they come together as Harry, Ron, and Hermione enter Hogwarts for the first time in this movie, and I really love that. I love seeing all these characters back. I love seeing, those are some of the minor characters, and seeing even like some of the more major characters like Ginny, Luna, Neville. Of course, Neville is one of those characters that you gained the most respect for throughout the franchise. I grew to love that character as the movies go on, and as we see more and more of Neville. He became a lot more mature, and a character that we grew to love even more. I mean, there's other characters, Professor Snape, Professor McGonagall, who else? Filch. Seeing all these characters back up on the screen for one final time is just really pleasing. I don't know about you guys, but it really is. But I do have a problem with the characters, and it's not their performances or anything like that. It's not the fact that I hated characters. It's just, in this movie, we see a lot less of some of the minor characters, especially some of the deaths for some characters. Like Fred Weasley's death, we don't even see that happen. We just see Harry looking at the Weasleys as they're mourning Fred's death. We don't even see another two great characters, Professor Lupin and Tonks. We just see them dead, we just see their dead bodies. And another character that wasn't even hardly in the movie, just for 2 or 3 scenes, was Hagrid. He was hardly in this movie at all, which was kind of disappointing. But you have the last 6 or 7 films to look on and just enjoy Hagrid in those movies. But that's probably really my only big complaint with this movie. That were some characters that I would love to even see more on screen, but we really didn't get to because you had a pretty long movie. You couldn't show them all on screen, So that is really my only complaint. But anyway, guys, the cast, the characters, all perfect in this movie. They're just great. As for some of the fight scenes in this movie, guys, of course there is going to be some duels going on between the characters in the movie. This is the final battle. This is it. And it becomes just an all-out war between Voldemort's army and the students of Hogwarts, the faculty of Hogwarts, all Harry's closest friends, and all these people are just going at war against each other. And a lot of characters do get killed, like I said, and it's just so amazing to watch all these duels and all these what do you call it? The part in the movie where Harry, Ron, and Hermione are fleeing that fire, the fire spell from involving Malfoy and his friends in the room of requirement. That scene was just so epic. The duel scene between Snape and McGonagall in this movie was just so perfect. I mean, everything was just perfect in this movie. Regarding the fight scenes and the action scenes, and of course, we are all waiting for that final scene to come on at the very end of the movie. The fight scene that we've read about in the books, Harry Potter versus Lord Voldemort in the final battle between these two characters, and it was just so pleasing. I mean, the final battle was great. I wouldn't have pictured it any other way. It went perfectly, you know. It was just... I can't stop praising this movie. That's how amazing it was. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I really want to talk about. I want to give my rating, and I want to talk about a few other things that really I enjoyed in this movie. Movie's rated PG-13. It's fine for kids to see. I'm not even going to go into that. Guys, to give my rating this movie, most of you probably realize this already. I gave this movie a 10 out of 10. Like I said, one of the best movies I have ever seen in my entire life. The best film in the franchise, easily. It was just absolutely perfect. The way it ended, the ending scene where all the characters are grown up. Harry, Ron, Hermione. Ron and Hermione have married. Harry has married Ginny. We see them sending their kids off to Hogwarts, and it was just perfect. You know, it was so. It was so touching, you know. There were a lot. That's another thing about this movie. There were a lot of emotional scenes going on in this movie, especially when characters were killed. You know, when Snape was killed, that scene was really emotional. I mean, just so many impressive scenes. This movie evoked a lot of emotions in me, whether they were a few laughs. There was even a few laughs in this movie. That's how great this movie was. They included a few laughs. They included a lot of emotional scenes. They included a lot of pleasing scenes to me. But anyway, guys, like I said, my minor complaints with this movie that do not affect my score in any way were that some of the characters I would like to see more in this movie, but they obviously didn't have time because they had to keep the movie going. They just couldn't show all these characters for like long periods of time. They can't. They got to keep the movie going with the story and everything that's going on. And that's probably really my only problem. And then the fact that they don't show some of the deaths that occur, like the deaths of Fred and the deaths of Tonks and Lupin. I would love to see those deaths. They just show what happened to those characters and just show the dead bodies, which was kind of disappointing, but overall that was fine. Anyway, guys, this movie is just perfect. I want to talk about a few other scenes that I really enjoyed. Of course, when Molly Weasley said, "Not my daughter, you bitch," and when she killed Bellatrix, that was one of the best scenes of this movie, easily, because I couldn't wait for that scene to come on. Bellatrix's death. I was waiting for that throughout this entire movie because that's a character I really hated. Ever since she killed Sirius Black in Order of the Phoenix, I was like, I can't wait to see her death. I really couldn't wait to see it, and it was so pleasing in this movie. It was perfect. Just every single scene when all the students of Hogwarts gather and when they're starting to get attacked by Voldemort and his army, they're shooting spells at each other. I mean, it's just so epic, so pleasing. I like to use that word a lot because that's what this movie is. It's pleasing. It's enjoyable. It's a great 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes, whatever, of your time. I'm telling you guys, this was a perfect end to the franchise. I wouldn't have seen it. I couldn't see this movie any other way, ending in any other different way. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, I love that one part. This is probably my favorite part of the movie, guys. I'm going to go ahead and name it. When Voldemort thought Harry was dead, and he returns to Hogwarts. It's like towards the end of the battle. A lot of characters had died, and then Harry shows Voldemort he's not dead. Voldemort thought he killed Harry. He didn't. He was wrong. And Harry gets up, and he starts shooting those spells, and it's playing the epic music. The score was beautiful at that part of the movie. He's shooting spells at Nagini, because he's trying to kill the final Horcrux. He's trying to end the final Horcrux, and then Voldemort's trying to shoot spells at Harry. I mean, it was just so beautiful. That's the word for this movie is, guys. This movie is absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10 for me. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you do. I don't know where you've been, like I said. I mean, from the cast, the characters, the perfect story, the great action scenes, the fight scenes between the characters that you just couldn't wait. After reading the books for all these years, we have been following the movies and the books for at least, I don't know how long. The movies for like 10 years. I mean, it just ends in such a perfect way. The movie was just beautiful, guys. There's no other word. I know I've been repeating myself, but I just can't help it when I talk about this movie. 10 out of 10, guys. I highly recommend it. I'm going to buy this movie on Blu-ray probably because I want to get this in high def because I absolutely love this movie. Thank you for watching this review, guys. Like I said, Deathly Hallows Part 2, easily one of my favorite movies of all time. And J.K. Rowling, she got us into the series with the books, and now you know, it just, the series just continues. It's how perfect it is with the movies. And you know what? The books have always been so similar to the movies. I mean, the whole Harry Potter franchise is just a masterpiece. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this review. Bye.